guys, it's Jamie and I'm back with another video, and today I am joined with my best friend Lily, who is going to let me bake her face and do pretty makeup on her.
And torture me.
Yeah, that too. Basically. So if you want to see how I did this look on this eye, all pretty and nice, then just keep on watching. So I went ahead and already primed her eyes using the MAC paint pot, and I went ahead and did that with my Morphe M224 brush and set it with some setting powder. Next I went into my 39A Morphe palette into shade Forever with my Sephora double-ended 205 blending brush. And all I did was put that on the inner and outer corners of her lid and just started to blend it inward. Going in with the other side of that Sephora brush, I went into the Morphe James Charles palette and went into the shade Skip and went ahead and started using that to blend out the edges of what I've already put down. So I went ahead and went into the shade Spooky in the same palette, and I used the same side of the Sephora 205 brush that I laid down the shade Forever previously, just to give it more depth and to make it a little bit darker. Going back into the James Charles Morphe palette, I went ahead and took a Morphe M456 brush into the shade B just to blend out the edges more and to give a little bit more of a different color and to add more color to it because I felt like it was a little bland. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take my Too Faced Born This Way concealer with my Anastasia number 18 brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and create a blank space to cut out the crease. Taking a plain smudger brush with nothing on it, I went ahead and started just patting down where I already put concealer to try to dry it up, but then I decided I didn't really like it, so I went ahead and took some translucent powder. This one just so happens to be the Too Faced Born This Way powder, and I went ahead and just set the concealer down. Going back into the 39A palette, I went ahead and took Forever and mixed it with the color Create, and then I just started to fill in the inner and outer corner again and kind of define where I wanted the crease in the middle of the eye. Next, I went back into the James Charles palette into shades So Good and Ring Light, and I honestly do not know the name of this brush. It came with a Morphe brush set, eye brush set. I will list it in the description box down below, but I went ahead and just took those two shades and just started putting it in, patting it in the blank space that I created with the concealer. At this point, actually, I went in a little too crazy with the Forever and Create, and so I went just back in with my Anastasia brush and what was left of the concealer on it and just recreated the blank space. Next, I went in with the Stila Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadows in shade Gold Goddess, and I went ahead and just put a little bit of dots all over her eye and then blended it out with that same Morphe brush that I unfortunately don't know the name to. Next, I went ahead and took the NYX glitter glue on the same Anastasia brush as before, and I went ahead and just started patting that all over where I put the Stila.
What does the fox say?
Next, I went ahead and took the MAC loose glitter in shade Yellow Gold, and before I went ahead and did that, I got some loose translucent powder and my damp beauty blender, and I went ahead and just put some down. That way it could catch out the fallout from the gold, which I went ahead and laid down with a Morphe M124 brush and just patted that all over where I put the glitter glue. Taking what was left on my Sephora brush from earlier, I went ahead and just went on the inner and outer corners to clean up the line from the glitter. Going in with my Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH07, I just used that to get rid of the setting powder and any excess glitter that the powder didn't get. Taking the NARS Natural Radiant Foundation, I went ahead and took my Morphe M224 brush and kind of just cut the shadow on the edge to make it nice and sharp, because I planned on creating a real sharp eyeline wing later. For this next part, I didn't realize I was out of frame, but I went into shade Face from the James Charles palette with my Morphe M431, and I went ahead and sprayed the brush and put that on the inner corner, and it was gorgeous. Now for the liner. So I went in with the Fenty black eyeliner, and it honestly lately is one of my favorites. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it.
But first, let me take a selfie.
Taking my Morphe M410, my M410 brush, I went into shades Forever and Create again, and I just used that to add a little color to the bottom lash line, and I used this brush to get in there nice and precise. Now that the eyes are all nice and done and look as blended as I want, it is time to go in with the skincare. So first, I'm going to go in with this primer right here. I'm just going to dab that all over her face. Now, I like to use this one because it's not only hydrating, but it blurs the pores. And I went ahead and used the Fenty foundation brush to just blend that out all over. Moving right into it, I used my Morphe M439 brush, and I used the NARS Natural Radiant Foundation, and I went ahead and just dabbed that, just a dot all over her face. Then to add a little bit more coverage, I went in with the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation and just put a little on the back of my hand, which usually isn't sanitary, but we're best friends, so she allowed me to do that. And I went ahead and just blended that all over her face. Taking the Tarte Shape Tape in this shade Light Beige, I went ahead and just put that underneath her eyes, just 2 lines on both sides, a line on her chin and her forehead, which are my usual spots. And then I also went ahead and took light sand to give it a little bit more color. But as you can see, it's too light on her. And then I went ahead and just blended that out with a damp Morphe Beauty Blender. Going in with my Too Faced Born This Way powder, I went ahead and just put a little bit of the powder into the lid to make it easier. And I went ahead and took a damp beauty blender and just stamped that under her eyes to set it, and that way to stop any creasing. Taking the J8, what was left of the lid, and just started to set all over her face. Next, going in with the Morphe E48 brush, I went ahead and just used that to dust out all that extra powder from under her eyes that we used for baking. Going in with my Anastasia powder bronzer in shade Rich Amber, I'm just going to take my Morphe R10 brush and just start to kind of cut her cheekbones. And what I do is I like to do that to bronze and contour, because I just don't really contour or use blush, so that's how I kind of make up for that. Taking some extra setting powder on my damp beauty blender, I like to just cut a nice sharp line, give it a nice just sharp edge, which I like to do to give it a nice sharp edge and makes her face look slightly thinner. Next, I feel this highlighter doesn't even need an introduction, so I'm not even going to bother. So I went ahead and took it on a JH09 brush and just put it in the usual spots. I do like to put it on the cheeks a little bit more, just so when you're smiling and you got kind of a more rounded face, it shows a lot more. Then I went ahead and just took my Morphe E48 brush to just dust away the excess powder. Next, I went ahead and went in with Jeffree Star Cosmetics Velour Liquid Lipstick in shade Berries on Ice, just to kind of make the lips nice and pop and bold, but yet still match. And that is the finished look. It's a nice cranberry purple sunsetty look. What would you say?
Yeah, definitely a cranberry sunsetty look.
Yeah, I gotta like it. It came out a little bit what I didn't want, but I still like it.
That's how that always happens with the makeup you put on me. Like, not exactly what I was looking for, but it came out right.
Exactly. That's exactly how it was. But I hope you guys liked it. I did try something different this time, something far away, and using somebody else. So I hope you hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell button, even though it doesn't work. But we have hope on this channel, slightly. A little bit.
Someone's optimistic out of us, too.
Yeah, a little bit. But see you next week for the next one. Bye!